shit.
The Woman in the House. Did anybody else watch that one?
I don't know.
Man.
I didn't. Look at my.
It was a quick one. It was pretty quick,
Holy
but
shit.
it was like.
I'm gonna blast it out. Real quick.
We're actually on time. 2:30.
Anybody in there?
Alright, so.
Besides you?
Ollie's in there. That's about it.
Everybody's getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't even know who's on the halftime show. Is it Tom Brady?
No, it's definitely not.
Damn.
Sorry.
I thought he would find a way somehow to show up. He's just gonna be in the stands.
He'll become a commentator now. That's what he'll do.
He's gonna be in the stands, and they're just gonna show him the whole time. It's gonna be like the game with like Tom Brady up in the corner, like watching.
That's the whole thing. It's like you're not actually watching the game. You're just watching Tom Brady
reaction.
Watch to the
reactions
to the game.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what the whole Super Bowl is gonna be.
I'd watch it. I just got his book, man. I'm ready to read it.
Oh my god. You're ridiculous.
Dude, that guy is a inspiration.
What? Is a what?
What?
He's a leader, dude.
Oh, okay.
He's got.
Alright, so real quick, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm going to say hi to some people in the chat.
Yet?
Yeah, we're on.
So,
sorry, guys.
Ali, how's it going? We got Jillian, we got Jake, Frederick. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
What's going on, guys? We're going to let some people filter in while I'm blasting this out on the social medias. And
nobody's hating me right now for talking Tom Brady.
No, well we're technically like 3 to 4
early.
seconds behind.
Okay, good.
Everything,
yeah,
so.
it's still early. Don't worry, there's time.
Yeah. I mean, people like to yell at me, so it's I don't take offense. I have my opinions, and other people have theirs, whether they're wrong or right.
Opinions are like assholes.
Everybody's
got them,
and they stink.
I like farts and Beavis.
All right.
TP. Holy
wait, what?
Why does it smell like Beavis? I don't know.
Oh,
Girl,
so
be drinking.
I know, Cecil, you watched the 2 new episodes of South Park, right?
Yes,
yeah,
I did.
Yeah,
the
Tolkien
one is really
fun.
dude,
Tolkien's origin story. It's
really good.
It's great.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, it makes Stan the biggest asshole.
Oh, it's so funny though.
And it's just
it makes the viewer the asshole.
Yes and no.
So funny. I mean, yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think? Like every time we looked at the camera, it's like, what did you guys think?
Yeah.
Did you think so too?
The doctor turns around and everything starts grilling us.
It's like, wow,
you're
a little asshole.
You're the biggest piece of shit of them all.
That's right.
Maybe I should just
turns around. Oh, what are you doing here? I told you to get out of my office.
It's a totally one-off episode. You can completely just watch that one.
because I haven't watched South Park in like
you don't need to, as long as you
years.
know, as long as you know who Token is.
You'll
get the joke.
You'll
get the joke.
You can just watch that one episode.
He's
It's
a token
fucking
black
hilarious.
kid, right?
Well, that is he though?
African American.
Is he though? Like that's the point.
Is he?
Is he not?
You'll see. You just
gotta watch it.
All right.
You just gotta watch it.
You're the problem. I probably am the problem. If you knew me, you'd probably agree.
It was just really, honestly, what it was like peak South Park from years ago to me. Like they hit this joke so well, and like it really was many years of build up for this joke.
Yeah.
So it just worked so well.
Well, they are geniuses. I mean, they are.
It's just
they're
hilarious.
really good at what
You and Pete should absolutely watch.
Because you haven't watched any of like the post-COVID stuff that they did.
I have not watched.
God, that was
15 years.
That's fine. Honestly, you can start off right there.
Okay,
and then
2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the post-COVID and COVID movie or whatever.
Well, we're still in COVID, so I don't know.
Well, the one of the South Park stuff. You know what? Don't sass me.
What season?
Don't sassafras me, Marcia.
Just tell me the season, and I'll go from there.
25.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on season 25.
Yeah.
Okay, so start from the top.
Or you could just go to the streaming service and see what the most recent episode to be put up is.
Okay. Is that how people do it?
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, you can actually check by most.
I used to do WB, but you know.
Do HBO Max. They got them all.
Oh, I do have HBO Max.
Yeah, HBO Max is all South Park.
What's up, Phil, for real? Ali says, as Cody Leash, I like it, it's Cody Leash. As Cody Leash says, opinions are like assholes, doesn't mean you have to be one. That's true. That is a good point. Saw the Nope trailer today. Very interesting. We are actually going to be recording a separate trailer reaction of that after we finish this stream. We don't really care about the big game, so to speak. I don't want to get sued, so I'm not going to say the actual thing.
So we don't care.
So we're going to do a separate trailer reaction for Nope, probably a trailer reaction for Jurassic World. I know Fuego would want to do a separate one for Firestarter as well.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a couple of other trailers we're supposed to get during the Super Bowl, too, so we might do a Super Bowl wrap-up.
Motherfucking Top Gun!
Yeah, he's really excited about that. I know there's a DC trailer coming, but I think they already released it, so...
Oh, the Black Adam one?
It was a compilation of, trailer, bits from the next 4 movies.
Gotcha, okay.
I just don't get DC, but that's me.
Well, that's fair.
You're a Superman man. I get it.
I am.
He's a Superman.
Well, and the first Aquaman movie was really good.
Sure.
You didn't like it?
It was okay.
Wow. Overrated, I thought.
But
all the women
I got
love
some
Jason
hype.
Momoa, and I'm
That's the only reason why it's got the overhype. It was one of the better ones.
Luz
of the
Reviews
DC
is in the
movies
chat. What's going on, Luz? Good to see you. Fuego's coming. He's just late.
Wonder Woman.
You know, I'm not going to
better
sugarcoat it.
than
Fuego's
the
just late.
And everything else.
So he'll be here soon. He's going to be doing a majority of the talking, I'm sure. Julian, what's going on? Good to see you. Nope looks very interesting. Watch it in the next trailer reaction. Yeah, we're going to. Yep, we already planned. I think we're going to do a separate reaction for Nope that we'll release later today.
Yeah.
I told you last time about Firestarter, but heed this warning, Blumhouse. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Blumhouse has good stuff too, though.
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like with Blumhouse, when they first started acquiring a lot of these properties, they didn't really know what the hell they were doing per se, and they've definitely learned from their mistakes, which is nice. Especially with, again, going back to that god awful Black Christmas that they put out.
That's true.
That was abysmal,
but they've done some good stuff.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they've learned from.
For every Halloween 2018, there's a Halloween Kills, though.
Okay, listen. If someone was like,
Thank you.
if someone was like, here's a Blumhouse movie and here's an A24 movie, I'd be like, give me Blumhouse.
Blumhouse does do some good
60-40.
stuff. I do like some of their stuff, though.
60-40.
And you gotta
I
admit,
do want to see the new Macbeth, though, with
you gotta admit, though, Jason Blum is doing things in the horror genre that I would want to be done. I just don't know that he's doing them the way I would want them to be done.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's okay. At least
he's trying.
He's trying. He's keeping stuff alive, right? You know what I'm saying? He's trying to revive stuff. So he knows the value of good horror. It's just that his tastes aren't necessarily our tastes a lot of times.
Yeah.
But again, I don't begrudge the guy for it. The company is still doing some good stuff. So the girl in Firestarter looks good. So the girl in Firestarter, Lou, if you didn't know, is the little girl from the most recent American Horror Story double feature season. She was in the first 6 episodes, the Red Tides half of the season, and she was excellent in it. She was one of the most disturbing things about that part of the show.
She made me realize that I'm happy to not have girls.
Oh, yeah.
Lou's saying, I didn't know John Carpenter was doing the soundtrack for it.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the trailer because
awesome.
I still haven't watched the trailer. I've
no.
Week.
Like I've kept skipping it. Like I do maybe like the first 5 seconds, just be like, oh, it looks really good. Skip.
That's good for you.
I knew we were. That is good for me because sometimes I'm just like, oh yeah, I watched this trailer.
I know.
You son of a bitch.
I know exactly. We like. Fair enough. So you've seen it then, Lou. Yeah, she's really good on American Horror Story. Agree. Everyone agrees. Jake Slider agrees, too.
She got talent.
Ellie says, bless you for whoever's seen it. Was it you?
That was her.
Marcia? Okay, yeah.
I thought she was playing Peekaboo.
No.
What about 2-sentence horror stories? It's a really interesting show. You know what? I've been interested to watch that. I've never given it a try, Julian, but I'm interested to do so. It's an interesting idea, and I would love to write a 2-sentence horror story. Like, maybe we should do our own. I'm going to write that down. Maybe we can all just today we could because we could do this and record it today easily.
Wait, what are
we all write a 2-sentence horror story and then we tell it on camera. Okay. I'm gonna write it down. It's a good idea. Okay. Maybe we massage the idea a little bit, but it's a good idea.
I don't think I'm very good at those things, but I can try.
Well, okay, fair enough. I'm still gonna write it down as a good idea.
I know. I have to sit down and think about shit. That's why even on sitting there on the chat with the elevator stuff, I'm like, oh, you sons of bitches. I'm like.
I'm an idea person.
I'm not honestly.
I'm
not much of a quick on the fly per se. With certain story stuff, I have to get an idea and then build off it from there.
Yeah.
Problem solving. If something breaks, I'll figure it out.
It'll be a fun exercise, I'm sure.
All right, so let's get into the first one here, Marcia. We're gonna let you do this since you're the only one that watched it.
All right.
And that's going to be you did talk about this briefly on another stream, but this is going to be dedicated to it. So you're the only one that watched Dexter New Blood. Now, without getting into spoilers, how was Dexter New Blood?
You know, I did not enjoy it. From the first episode on, I still watched every episode because, I mean, it's Dexter and I'm always been a big fan. But the way the story goes, you know, you're meeting back up with Dexter. He turned a new leaf. He's trying really hard, following a routine.
He's suppressing his dark passenger.
Trying to suppress his dark passenger, who is no longer his dad. It actually turned into Deb.
We all guessed that might happen, especially after we met the actor playing his dad, and he's just like, they didn't have me back.
Yeah.
Well, and then wait, so
they turned around for his sister?
What do you mean?
Have you not finished the series yet?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I cherry picked the crap out of Dexter. Honestly,
no, yeah, his sister is now his
spoiler
representation of the dark passenger.
Yeah, so it switched from the dad to Deb, right? Mm-hmm. Which, you know, at some points I was like, okay, Deb, and then it just felt it was actually really interesting because someone corrected me because I was like the whole time going, there's no way it's the same writers, and then somebody from our last one was like, it was all the same writers, and I'm like, that is so crazy because the side characters were not as fun and good. Supporting cast was not the way it was when you got the original Dexter, and I think the supporting cast is what made Dexter so great to begin with. Mm-hmm. Michael C. Hall is always a treat. I love that. I love everything that he does, even if it's, you know, not really a solid storyline. He still gives his all, and I really appreciate him. However, it felt like the season was super rushed because they only had one season to tell this story. There was a lot of mistakes, which really they were trying to use his mistakes to push the story, which wasn't really Dexter-ish, right? Like, he was very disciplined in everything that he did. He had a system.
Could it be because he was out of practice, though?
Maybe you could justify it that way, like, you know, because he was suppressed for so long that he just kind of exploded.
How much time between... Did they tell you how much time between this and the last season?
Well, his son was like a teenager.
Oh, so it's been like 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So he could get rusty.
Yeah, you could, but... Yeah,
and a lot of technology has changed in that time, too.
Yeah.
You'd think that would have to be a consideration.
But I mean, if you watched it, you would be like, there's no way he would be this rusty.
So, Lou is saying he said Clancy Brown was great. Was Clancy Brown great?
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he's usually really good.
I didn't feel like the acting had any bad parts. There was no bad parts, right? Everybody did their job. They did a great job acting. I just felt like the story didn't feel like Dexter, and you know, and there was a part where they pulled like Batista back in, right, to play a role.
Okay.
However, the way they presented him and the interactions with him
didn't feel
it didn't make any sense to me because he was like very like removed from the Dexter. Like they weren't best friends for years, right? Because they were super close. He was super close with Deb. And when he referenced Dexter, he felt very removed, like he didn't really know him personally. Huh. And like he didn't know any details about him, he didn't come off as like this was a dear friend of mine and all this stuff happened. It came off as like, oh yeah, that guy that I kind of remember, and I'm like,
really?
That doesn't really fit at all. It was definitely a lot of writing for convenience, and I really think if it is all the same writers, that either they completely forgot everything that they read before or how they've written it, or they just like we're pressed for time, so we have to make this story move.
Cherry picking.
I gotta go. I forgot to change my shirt real quick, so I'm gonna go do that. So you finish up, and then I'll come back and jump into one that I watched.
All right. Well, that's odd because I just finished. But, yeah. All right. Well, let's see what did you guys think? So, Dexter the Show, because I haven't seen it or heard of it. Yes, it was a show on Showtime. It ran about 5 seasons or more. Yeah. It came out about the same time Walking Dead came out. I remember watching them one after the other. We'd have like Walking Dead Dexter parties. So that was it was really good. I would watch the original series. It's definitely worth a watch.
Julian, we're just finishing up talking about Dexter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is it a show? Yeah, it's a show. Go back and see it. Yeah. Movie, Mike, totally agree with Marcia. It felt like there was not a lot of depth, and I didn't like there wasn't a lot of consistency between Deb's character either.
Really?
Like she was either for his actions or against his actions, and it was like she wasn't Deb. You know,
well, that can be forgiven because it's in his head.
I guess
it's his interpolation of
the fact that she was such a singularity. Like there should have been
the one
that
was trying to keep him on the good side.
Well, she didn't even know about his activities until the last season.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But it was like she was like, "No, you shouldn't do this," and then like, "Why aren't you better than what you're doing?" And it's just like, I don't know. It wasn't very consistent, and that's my biggest part. But I thought the acting was good. The set
that was a quick one, Corey.
But yeah, overall, I mean, if you're a completist, definitely watch it, finish it up. I mean, you get more Dexter, but it definitely don't expect it to be as the same quality as we got from the original season show. Anyway, and that's my take.
Okay, so yeah, Clancy always brings his A game. The first 4 seasons are fantastic. Julian said, "Is Dexter a show?" Because I haven't seen or heard of it, and
he's I don't know everything.
So. All right, so let's move on to one that I watched that Marcia did not. I know Fuego watched it too, but again, we're diving in. Oh, I think he might have just got here. So if so, he'll come up and join us and give us his thoughts. But I'm going to talk about Archive 81.
I watched this too.
Oh.
Yep. Tis Fuego.
All right, here we go. Never specifies. Fuck, dude. All right. Yeah, no. All right. Yeah, here we go.
Dave's down there. You can answer the phone. Archive 81.
Oh, yeah. Yep, you're right. Dave will answer the door. Well, I don't know. Dave might. Let's just double check.
Do you want me to go? You start. I'll go.
No, he's in. Okay.
I won't go.
All right. So, yes. So,
Archive 81.
Archive 81. Never specified a time, but said 2-ish, and yet 2:47 counts.
We're okay. We're moving.
Archive 81 is a Netflix show that came out, and it is a 8-episode show that was very. It was a slow burn, but it was a good mystery thriller situation. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's about this the guy on the left side of the poster there. He plays a restorer of old tapes and, films and things like that. And he's recruited by this private company to restore a bunch of tapes that were in a fire years ago. And as he starts to restore them, he starts having weird sort of visions / dreams about stuff that's going on. And he is seeing this weird sort of demonic looking image in the screen every now and again. And not only that, but he starts to have dreams where he's interacting with the girl that's on these tapes, the girl on the right side of the poster, this one here. So it's all about how are they intertwined. It is a sort of paranormal show. It's also, there's a bit of extra dimensional Lovecraftian aspects to it as well. So it's a really interesting show, but it is a slow burn. It definitely takes its time, and I really enjoyed it, except I had to be in the right mood to watch it. But when I was in that mood, I would usually watch 2, maybe 3 episodes at a time because it was engrossing. Mm-hmm. But then I'd have to take a break and watch something more exciting or go on and do something else, But it was a good story, well told, good acting, and I mean, it does unfortunately kind of factor into the. There are aspects of cult storytelling in there, which I don't normally jive with. So, that might have been why it wasn't the best thing for me. But it was still really entertaining. It's based on a podcast, which has gone on, and so if they get a big enough response, they do have more material to make future seasons out of. So. It's definitely a worthwhile watch if you don't mind slow burn mystery horror things. There's not a ton of horror to it, but there are some aspects that could be considered so. Other than that, I think it was worth it.
I thought it was interesting because there was a little bit of obviously the cult or religion aspect, but there was also astrology and alienish, right? Which, and a lot of things that are coming out, they can be kind of put together, right? aliens and religion, things like that. I did like the creepy aspect of it, and have hit a little crazy, like, oh, you're in this remote research center by yourself. Here's some tapes. Enjoy. I liked Lou's comment about session 9 because it is does have that feeling a little bit of the recovering of the old tapes and kind of rehashing something that was once forgotten to bring to light some sort of weird situation, a supernatural situation that was occurring. So I did respect it. At first, it did take me a little bit to get into it. But once I did, I was like, okay, I'm following. I thought it was different enough to watch and enjoy. Given a lot of the stuff that's out right now, it's zombies. But I was a little disappointed that we went back to like the religion aspect. I won't give away much more than that. But I did like the fact that they coupled the religion with like kind of outer worldly.
Yeah.
To make it justified me continue to watch it at that point.
All right, so just jumping on, guys. What's up? Yeah, I did watch this, and I was enthralled, but it was really the time limit that just really detracted significantly, unfortunately. I think this could have been 4 to 6 episodes. It kind of dragged when it was doing the flashback stuff, at least for me, a little bit. It did not just have that... point of prowess or anything, and but I mean the lead actor who is actually doing the excavation aspect, I thought he was awesome, and also his dueling lady lead I thought was really good too. So and I'm a sucker for kind of the 90s nostalgia sort of situation, so I was all about that, and they really hammer it home with the final episode at the very end, which I thought seeing a little Kurt Loder was cool. But I'm hopeful that they can kind of continue the narrative and
see where they go from there.
Yeah,
because they flop sides in a way
that they do.
So
all right,
it's just a little longer than 2 times to say.
The Circle and the dude from Phantasm. 81 is creepy music too. Sorry, I'm behind. I'm just trying to catch up on the things here. Is it kind of like Sinister? There are aspects of it that are kind of like Sinister, sure. All right, so let's move on. Yeah, the seance was pretty dope. I think
Section 9 was a little bit more head on.
Oh yeah, that seance scene was good actually. Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. Okay, so let's move on to another thing that I know Marcia took part in that she was surprised anyone else took part in, which was...
Is it the Korean zombie?
No, we'll get to there. We'll get to that.
You watched Brazen?
Yeah, Brazen.
There we go. Alyssa Milano movie?
Yes, unfortunately. Yeah. This movie sucked, man. It was about as beyond.
Oh, that's the review on that movie.
Yep.
It was borderline Lifetime murder mystery, which was not really horror at all, but it led you to believe that it would be.
I was the idiot who put it on the spreadsheet.
Yeah, and I watched it, and I was like, I watched it in 2 sessions because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't watch any more of this. And then I'm like, well, I might as well finish it since I already started it, so I can talk to it.
The whole dedication aspect. Yeah, this is one where when something isn't really catching me initially, I speed up the play. I go to 125 or 15, and I think I went all the way to 15.
The fantastic acting of Alyssa Milano. I mean, the boobs and the and
the slight love story with that guy who you think is kind of suspect initially, and then it becomes
I never
without spoiling.
So. Him. It's
really, you thought he was virtuous throughout.
I watched enough Lifetime movies to know
and that is where this would have had a better home.
I knew who the killer was at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And before she even died, I knew who the killer was.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was about to say this one very much was like Mike Flanagan's wife, who was in that film last year, which was also a Netflix original, where it was her and her therapist and his, nefarious sort of shit. But yeah, this one was just utter boredom, unfortunately.
So basically, what you have is Alyssa Milano, who is a successful murder writer, right? Like a Mary Higgins Clark type, right? And she comes back. She comes to help her sister out, and who's trying to battle her ex-husband for custody. Turns out that she is a dominatrix, and in secret while also a school teacher during the day.
That's right. There is kind of an OnlyFans sort of angle to this.
And then she gets murdered, and just conveniently, Alyssa Milano just started a love relationship with a next door neighbor who happens to be the top homicide cop in the city, and they work together to solve this crime.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing movie.
I think that if you're looking for some Lifetime trash, you got it. Netflix, thanks, but no thanks.
The one thing that I will say, though, is that I still think Alyssa Milano has some gas in the tank. She is doing the best she can.
Her boobs look really nice, I agree.
They're still holding up?
She's got a lot of air in her head, though.
Look, I've loved Alyssa Milano since Fear. When Mark Wahlberg throws her over his shoulder and squats that butt.
Yeah, 90s Alyssa Milano was super hot.
Embrace of the Vampire.
Now she's just gotten...
I haven't seen her in years.
She's gotten fucking weird.
I feel like she got ruined during Charm because her acting skills are getting a little tapped. I'm sorry. But it was
I don't know, once Rose McGowan got on there...
And it could have just been the whole ensemble of the whole film just not being... interesting, but
it wasn't captivating in any capacity.
No. Like she tried really hard.
Yeah, she gave it her best.
Movie Mike says, Alyssa Milano is a dominatrix. My interest is true.
Bring it up.
Hey, she has a very nice scene in that movie.
She does actually.
She does. There was a lot of cleavage.
I mean, it's not Embrace of the Vampire, which I was talking about earlier. But, you know.
I mean, hey, I appreciate a girl with fine boobs. Okay, just like the next lady.
Hey, yeah. I mean, who amongst us doesn't appreciate fine boobs?
I mean, come on, you gotta give a girl what girls do.
And for a second, I thought she was saying 5 boobs, and I'm just like 5. Like I've seen 3 in Total Recall. But
someone really bumped up that tally.
Yeah. You were watching it and fast forward.
I was.
All right, next.
In a world where
this is utterly ridiculous.
In a world where there's been 3-headed, 4-headed, and 5-headed shark attack, there could very well be a 3-boobed, 4-boobed, and 5-boobed woman series.
Yeah, I guess if you want to be a cow.
The 5-boobed
I
cow
feel
lady.
like after a little bit, you're like, that's a little too much boob. Like, give me a perfect set. That's all I need.
They're life givers, though. I mean, when can
but I don't need a cow. Okay?
Francis Chainsaw Grimp is in the house. Sounds good. All right, good. All right, so let's walk it back since we brought it up. All of us are dead. Let's talk about the zombie show.
So what you mean is basically the live-action version of High School of the Dead. That's basically what this fucking show was. And for you guys, for you guys that don't know, that's an anime that's pretty much the same fucking premise as what this show is.
Is that Japanese or Korean?
It's Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one's a little heavy-handed on the teenage melodrama, you know, like crushes and the revelation of everything. But aside from that, I will say the effects, the makeup, the blood, the gore, and
the sound effects was
very much so. Yeah, and also taking a interesting little twist in the fact that some people may be asymptomatic for this virus.
Hybrid.
Yeah. And so they're, half-B is what they were calling them on the show, which I thought was kind of funny. And it's also very self-aware in the fact that they reference Train to Busan in this movie.
They really did.
A number of times, actually.
They're
like, oh, it is a zombie, just like that movie. So,
when they said, oh, haven't you ever watched Train to Busan? I was like... I felt like Peter from Family Guy. Like, they just said the title of the movie.
Yeah,
exactly. I was like, what?
The home, country love is great, I suppose, but it was a little heavy-handed.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hate it. I did hate the fact that it was 12 hours long and they never leave the high school. That drove me crazy.
You guys just seriously, every time you talked about it, on the thread, I was like, none of that sounds interesting.
No. Like, it was hard. Like, there were some episodes where I was like, oh, okay, I'm finally getting amped up. And then, the immediately next episode, I'm like, oh, wait, we're right back where we started. Yeah. And that's too much. When I first was like, okay, I'm going to watch it. It's another zombie movie. Okay, we'll get through it. Or zombie series. We'll get through it. And I'm like, wait, 12 episodes? And they're all like 55 minutes.
Yeah, that's why I was watching this at 125 as well.
I barely finished the first episode.
Yeah.
It does improve, though, I will say.
There are some good moments.
Again, I'm just so burnt out on zombies. It just bored as
there were
shit
some
with it.
there were some fun moments. I don't know if it's worth a full 12 hours, but there was times I was chuckling. Pete made the funny comment, like, just the only thing I learned is that Koreans fall down a lot, because they did. And then they couldn't get themselves back up, which was really confusing. Like, I fell down, help me! And they're like, no, you're gonna get eaten by zombies. Sorry, I'll see you later. I don't know. There were some good things. I did like the fact that they had the half-bees or whatever, where they got bit, but they didn't turn full zombie.
They're still cognizant,
so they had
self-aware.
superpowers. Yeah. The zombies didn't actually attack them, so they ended up like dominating and like and really causing some problems, which I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh, the one asshole specifically.
Yeah, the super bad.
Yeah, he becomes the main antagonist, honestly.
Yeah. But there was a lot of weird stuff, like, you know, like little, like, the sub-dramas of, like, the bullies forcing the weaker children to take photos and videos of themselves in a compromised position, beating up and causing people to commit suicide, and a lot of that melodrama, and then the drama between the rich and the poor. And murdering each other. I mean, I was like, what is this? It was like a weird episode of, like, you know, WB mixed in with Korean, like, zombies. So
yeah, well, it does act like it has a lot to say as far as, like, government distrust or even distrust of adults, you know. All those kids
they never came
caught
to save
in the bunker
them.
Situation. They're like, I am never going to believe an adult ever again, so to speak. But.
So, I mean, it was a lot of content. There was some good, there was a lot of ups and downs. I feel like if they trimmed it down,
that would have been the most important thing.
If they went from 12 to 8 episodes, maybe it would have been more solid.
Yeah, as you mentioned, just to finish it off, there's so many underutilized subplots, like the YouTuber guy who is there. He's like, I'm going to go into the zombie apocalypse, or so they say, and they barely used him. He was in like 3 or 4 episodes, you know. So yeah, it was a missed opportunity. If it was trimmed and a little more streamlined, I think it could have been a lot better because the production values were there.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so moving on, there's going to be a number of things that only Fuego is going to be able to talk about. So we'll start off with that. Boris Karloff, the man behind the monster.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Shudder release, and it's a very captivating bit about how his career really, you know, traversed and everything, and how he peaked, and then he found himself back in the, you know, the public visage and the importance of everything. It's all too often where, you know, people they have their heyday and it's not properly appreciated when they're in the midst of it, and then when they're, you know, when the light is flickering, so to speak, that's when they're given their proper recognition. And that was kind of the case with Boris, and the fact that you know, he was doing TV stuff that was almost like jokingly sending up what he did in a serious sort of manner previously. But it's comprehensive, it's intriguing, and yes, as far as running time goes, it's definitely a lot better than the folk horror one, which is like over 3 hours. This is a nice range of around 90 minutes, and yeah.
So it's a documentary?
It is a documentary.
Okay.
Yep. So lots of stuff about his you know, contemporaries, and, you know, people who were on set with him when he was doing some of those just iconic stuff like Dracula and, you know, Frankenstein and stuff like that. So.
Just a couple of other follow-up thoughts. A couple of for All of Us Are Dead, a couple of the adult side stories were pointless, says Ben Grimm.
Yeah,
it was like 3 to 4 episodes too long. And then Francis says, yeah, I've avoided the sequel to Train to Busan. It looks like an over-the-top action flick. Yeah, it sucked compared to the original.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on from there. We still have a lot to talk about. So, again, we're going to go kind of in alphabetical order, which means Fuego's going to talk for a while here. So, Doomlands. This is season 1?
Season 1, it was supposed to be a... I'm trying to remember the series, or the platform that died.
Quibi.
Quibi, yeah, exactly. So their entire catalog was purchased by Roku, and so now you can see this, as far as the animation style, I mean, you see the similarities between this and Rick and Morty. It's very much like a Mad Max, like, send-up sort of situation, and this guy has a traveling bar, and everybody that you see on the thumbnail there for the poster is, they're just kind of hanging around with him. It's drunken, it's ridiculous, it's offensive, and yet until the very end, where they're trying to get like a It's like a very sought after brand of beer. Aside from that, there's really, it's like episodic, nothing that really has a lot of cohesion, unfortunately. But yeah, it's offensive and it's funny, and the fact that it's free on Roku if you want something that is going to be like, around 10 minutes and it's just donezo. But yeah, it felt very much like third-rate, Futurama-ish,
which actually
bit,
just
which
got
is gonna,
renewed,
yeah, exactly. That's why I made the mention.
So how many 10-minute episodes?
I think it's 9 or 10, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like right around the length of a feature.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Yeah, and the fact that it's free, just to double down on that aspect, it's funny, but it's not like laugh out loud inspired funny, and the fact that it's been sitting on the shelf for a number of years at this particular point. So yeah, it's amusing, but it's nothing iconic.
Let's see. Fort Ian Times says Dracula. We are going to talk about a Dracula movie in just a second here.
Yeah.
Burning Witch Studio. I like that zombie TV show called Death Valley. It was funny. I don't think it was just zombies. It was zombies, werewolves, vampires. All of it existed on Death Valley.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one where.
Brian, that was the Comedy Central one.
Yeah,
dude,
Brian,
that show was amazing.
Yeah, Brian Callen
that's right.
was the
yeah, it was
chief.
Basically Reno 911 with just monsters.
Horror stuff. I love it. It was only one season.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to buy it. It's like $20 on Amazon.
Same thing. It's called Special Unit 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that the one that was on MTV?
No. This
Death Valley is really Wellington Paranormal before Wellington.
Yeah,
Paranormal,
basically.
for sure.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same.
Death Valley was
behind
Comedy
that.
Central, but Special Unit 2 was was it Fox or ABC? No, honestly, it was one of those, whatever, or Warner Brothers, whatever. But basically, it was about a cop group and everything that hunted monsters and shit. So they did the werewolves, vampires, gargoyles, and shit like that.
And it was a mockumentary sort of. Like,
no, this one
approach,
wasn't. This one wasn't.
Okay.
No. It was actually pretty good. Cause I think the one season I think was like $12 or something on Amazon. Like, I think I'll actually probably pick that one up.
All right, so let's move on to
lightning round this shit.
Dracula, the original living vampire. Which, if you guys don't know, the title reference is in reference to Morbius, which would have come out by now. So, is this just like a straight to DVD rip-off bullshit? Oh,
yeah. It's a VOD sort of situation, but not as. I mean, the reason I put it on there was because it was exceedingly better than I was anticipating.
Oh, okay.
Michael Ironside is in it.
Michael Ironside isn't Dracula.
I was literally just about to ask that. I'm like, I just saw him in Nobody, and he is not.
Yeah, he would look like the old version of Gary Oldman's Dracula.
They most definitely turned this into kind of a sexy romp. Is kind of the amusing aspect of the
sexy Dracula.
Yeah, and
That's how they suck on your blood.
Yeah.
Well, how about you suck on something else?
I was just about to say, like, the Netflix one that they put out, basically that's how it was. It's like Dracula suck on your blood and something else.
Woo!
Hey, whatever gets me there.
I have to say, yeah. So this one
Fair play, Marcia. Fair play.
So this one does alter things a little bit. The Van Helsing connection. So they jump forward a few decades, or maybe even a century, if I'm not mistaken. But it is a gay woman who is the main protagonist of it, who is trying to go after Dracula, and it's very just by the numbers lesbian sort of stuff in this, which I was not expecting. But
so she gets caught up with the brides of Dracula?
Not so much the brides of Dracula, but she has a love interest who was the one who, if you've seen the Francis Ford Coppola one, so it's her girlfriend essentially who becomes the Winona Ryder character. Yeah, and so she's the one who is glamored by Dracula, and his acting is actually some of the worst in the film, unfortunately. Ironside is great. The descendant of Van Helsing, the lady, is pretty good. And even some of the gore and some of the blood and everything, it's not like I expected, like trash, and I was pleasantly surprised, honestly. So,
cool.
That's good.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's VOD only, so don't look for
I
it
like
on
it
Shudder
when I set
or
low
anything.
expectations and then not get.
Lowered expectations.
And then you just get a little bit above that.
All right, so the next one I know Fuego watched, and I need to delete that other one. Boop. And then Marcia started, but did not get very far, and that was the first season of Feria.
Yeah. cult stuff.
I
know how much Cecil hates cult stuff.
Yeah, I watched like the first episode and I decided it was not for me.
It does improve, I mean, but yeah, it's not
I had 12 hours of all of us
zombies
dead,
to watch.
So I was like,
yeah, I'm never.
That one was even more interesting than this one. And this had less episodes.
Once again, it does improve, and the fact that it takes place in the 90s, and it's these two girls, and their parents go missing, and then you're starting to unravel the pieces about the fact that their parents were involved in this crazy cult, and lots of older nudity, especially in that first episode. We'll remember at the end of the first episode where it's like the mass suicide of all those people, and they find them. It didn't improve to the degree that I was hoping it was going to, unfortunately. But I thought acting was solid, though, especially from the two sisters. I thought they were good. Were you not at least captivated when the girl goes swimming in the first episode and everything is, like, coming out of...
Yeah, I was a little intrigued by that. I'm like, I wonder what that's about. But it's just
they explore. They do. Yeah.
The whole cult aspect of it really turned me off a lot because I'm just really not into it. And And I mean, the acting was fine, but I was like, I just feel like this is going in a direction that I'm not going to appreciate.
It was from Spain, I think, if I remember correctly.
They were. One thing I do like is Netflix allows me to dub everything in English now, so I don't have to read the subtitles, which makes it easier.
Yeah, I watched it in dub as well.
But yeah, I don't know. I just, as soon as another religious cult movie, I just was like, I can't. Why can't it just be going back to like the fundamentals of horror? Why is that? I don't know. I feel like a lot of this stuff is more rooted into a religious or zombie aspect, and I just want to break away from that a little bit. Can I get a break? Can I get a relief? Anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't amazing, unfortunately. So it's not one that I would say is like designated viewing. So yeah, but I try to keep up on all of it. So.
Leandro de Sol, hello from Switzerland. What's going on?
Yeah, paso do.
Howdy. Alright, so next one is Fuego again, which is For the Sake of Vicious.
Violent, for the sake of violent, and story with really very little to it, unfortunately. So, it's of the grindhouse, like, midnight variety, and in the fact that you have a quadrant of peeps that are coming in and trying to take a guy who is accused of a crime, and it's just a nurse and somebody who is also holding somebody captive, trying to defend themselves to grotesque aspects. It's nil on the story. The gore is fine, but there's really very little, if any, sort of narrative or anything to really latch yourself onto as far as what's going to captivate you. Unless you're just there to, view gore and people getting cut up and shot up and craziness, but there's really just, the story was scant. Regrettably. But it's a Shudder exclusive, and they were really putting high hopes on it. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Aside from that, it is very much, of that forgettable.
Yeah, we're not going to be talking forever on some of these things.
Sorry, guys.
Sure. So, all right. So the next one is one that Robert can chime in on, which was Tubi's original Hellblazers. So, Robert, why don't you start on this one?
Honestly, this movie honestly had the potential to be way better than what it was.
Agreed.
The fact of that they basically just used Tony Todd as a face to lure people in was pretty garbage on them. I will say that right now. There was some there were some dark humor aspects that I did chuckle at pretty good. But that's the thing, it's like they didn't know whether if they wanted to just be like a horror comedy or straight like a cult horror. And that was, I think, where else they fell flat. Acting really wasn't the best either. Really, it was just plain and kind of boring all around. I caught myself basically just going back to my phone, just flipping through YouTube as this movie was playing. And yeah, Tony Todd got done cheap.
Yeah.
He got done did cheap.
Although I will say, older dude who I think one of his final performances in this, and I'm trying
the guy in the wheelchair.
Was he in a wheelchair? Damn, I can't even
remember. The old vet? The old vet.
Yeah,
the Vietnam
exactly.
vet. Yeah.
The name of that actor is one of his final performances because he passed away recently.
Okay. He was actually one of the funnier ones and everything. He has some pretty good lines. But like I said, there was a couple scenes in there like, I definitely enjoyed. The makeup and prosthetic effects were the highlight of it.
When we had them.
When we had them, yeah. When you actually had the creature and everything like that, it was cool. But it was just... just a plain boring occult movie. Like Billy Zane had
oh, that's right. He was in the beginning,
and honestly, that was some of the funnier parts. So I'm thinking like, okay, cool, this is gonna be like a horror comedy, and it just really wasn't like that. They didn't. Again, they just didn't feel like they knew what the hell they were doing with it or what they wanted to do with it. Mm-hmm. So
no, I actually like the score a little bit. The fact that it was like 80s throwbacky sort of.
Dude, honestly, at this point, I don't even remember what the music was.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not a memorable film.
No, it really isn't. It really isn't. Again, like the real highlight is the prosthetics and the creature design for what we had when we had it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next thing. Tony Todd is the voice of Zoom. Is freaking amazing. Yeah. Tony Todd is
Candyman.
Yeah, Candyman, obviously, but he's another voice. He's Venom.
He was Spawn, right?
He's Venom in the video game coming up or something like that. He did a Venom thing that was really good. So, all right, let's see. You just have
the right voice.
Super Simi said they filmed Vicious in a house about to be pulled down, so the stunts which destroyed the house could only be shot once. So that's cool.
Yeah, I was about to say it was very violent, and that was the main thing that was the selling point for that film.
So the next one is a kids movie. It's just the fourth in the Hotel Transylvania series. Hotel Transylvania, Transformania, where any human was transformed into a monster. Obviously, there's only one. And then all the monsters were transformed into humans, or almost all of them. Mm-hmm. It was an interesting setup, but I don't feel like they really did anything with it. All the monsters that changed into humans, besides Dracula, had nothing to do. Mm-hmm. Nothing to do. It was really, the main story is about, the kid played by Andy Samberg and Dracula and how they relate to each other.
That's no longer Adam Sandler, right?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they recast.
Oh, no, not Adam Sandler. I mean, Andy Samberg. Andy Samberg did return, but Adam Sandler's the only one that did not.
Yeah, I was about to say, everybody else. Selena Gomez and,
Steve Buscemi.
David Spade, who... Yep. That's one of the
Invisible
funnier
Man.
Running jokes
I
is
agree
the fact
with
that he can find he's
visible and everyone realizes he's naked. They're like, wait, have you been naked the entire time? And he's just like, well, yeah.
Fuck, these clothes are invisible. You put clothes on, everyone's gonna see you.
So the nice thing is it wasn't as bad as part 3. Part 3 was awful.
Yeah.
This definitely tried to bring more heart back into it.
That was the one on the boat where
the cruise one. Yeah, it was awful.
Van Helsing.
See, I hadn't watched that.
Even though they continued that because he and Van Helsing are still together in this one.
That's right.
It does follow into this one. Mel Brooks was exactly. So it's not bad, but it definitely. It's not something you'll go back to over and over again.
Yeah, and the fact that it's on Prime, so you don't have to go out to a theater or anything to be sold there, and they are also saying it's the last in the franchise, but I don't know. These movies made a lot of money, so will it be the last? It just makes me kind of wonder.
Turn it back into a TV series.
True.
Yeah. Daniel says, "Hi guys, I'm a new fan. You guys are my favorite YouTubers." Oh, thank you.
Very, very kind of you.
Appreciate that. Let's see. All right.
They work really hard.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, Samberg at least had more to do in this one than in Part 3. Part 3 was pretty much nothing for his character.
Yeah.
And so,
Part 3, man.
Yeah. Like, why even try?
Why even watch it? I didn't.
I know.
So the next one is Fuego again, and this is Station 11.
Yeah.
This one.
So not super horror, based on a novel, but definitely of the horrific variety in the fact that you have a global sort of pandemic bit of nastiness. Mackenzie Davis is fantastic in this, but she doesn't get quite...
Wait, Mackenzie Davis. She wasn't the Terminator.
No, yeah.
Oh, she was. Okay.
So, yep, the girl right there.
Gotcha.
So she's our lead character. We see her in various, forms of, I guess, aging, so to speak, because when the pandemic initially hits, she's somebody who's in Chicago, and she's an actress, and she's a kid. She's like maybe 12, 13 years old, and then it flash forwards 20 years, and sorry.
It's not that type.
What do you mean?
It's that.
You're distracting everyone.
I guess. I don't know. Wait, what? I wasn't hitting this. I was moving my watch.
I don't know. I just saw the looking over there, and so I had to.
He's like,
had to figure out what the hell it
Don't get
was.
distracted. Don't get distracted.
He gave me a look.
Stay on target.
Yeah. Stay on target. Stay on target. No. This one, despite not being of the supreme spectacular variety, it had very interesting character development. it's, once again based on a book and just how people just come to terms and cope with just rebuilding society. So it's very much like a Walking Dead light in that regard, or also Why the Last Man, which I watched last month and was interested in that. But it's also very stage centric in the fact that the work of William Shakespeare is very prevalent within the narrative here, because a lot of these survivors, they basically have like a band that they put together where they're going around and doing stage performances. They're performing plays and they go around, but there's also lots of nefarious nastiness that's going down, and two characters in particular, Mackenzie's and another one who sheltered her initially when all the shit hit the fan, that she's like not trying to reunite with, but the narrative is pushing them back to getting reacquainted. And so solid stuff. It did not get a second season, but it told most of the story, so I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to another one of yours called Stoker Hills while I get rid of this for a second.
Yeah. Goddamn spammers.
So go ahead, Stoker Hills.
So Stoker Hills is an interesting one because it's less my cup of tea in the fact that it is a found footage sort of film. But so you have a couple peeps in a film class, and they leave it a little vague as to what sort of film they are trying to make initially. That one of their girlfriends is like moonlighting as a hooker, and they're filming.
It's a what?
As a hooker.
Oh, hooker.
I thought you said cooker, but you
lady of the
you said hooker, but
moonlighting as a hooker.
She's a midnight toker.
Yeah,
she's a midnight hooker.
Yeah, she's a lady of the night, so to speak. And so
lady of the lights.
So the whole crux of the craziness comes into play where they're trying to make this film, and she is out like walking the streets, and they're filming from afar, and then somebody actually pulls up and takes her into their car and drives away. And they're trying to track this person who has kidnapped her and presumably going to torture her and all the nastiness associated. And dare I say, this one was actually relatively satisfying. You know?
Right.
I love found footage movies. Where is this available, or you rented it?
It's a rental, unfortunately.
Okay.
But it was good, especially in the fact that the nastiness, once they are taken into said like dungeony sort of situation, it does tie in with maybe there is some connective tissue with who kidnapped, as opposed to just being randos in that regard. But and also the twist ending, without spoiling it, I was very satisfied with it. I dug it, man. Stoker Hills was solid, and it had some gruesome gore as far as the torture aspect goes. And this is one and it was like the diamond in the rough of, because there were legitimately, of the 22 that I sent you, Cecil, it's like there was still like another dozen that I watched that were so shit this past month that I didn't even toss into the foray. But Stoker Hills was good. Yeah.
Love horror movies about people making a horror movie. I'm the same way, Ben. I tend to be partial to those. All right, Silver Shamrock, what's up?
Yeah.
Spook Dev. All right, so the next one, Fuego, is also going to be mainly you. I got halfway through it. I couldn't finish it.
So you watched the first couple segments?
I got halfway through the second segment, the mouse segment. But I did get through the whole house segment, which was really good.
No.
So I'll let you go ahead and take over. What I've watched is engaging. I love that they built everything, and the animation style is so unique. So I really was enjoying what I was watching. I don't know if I'm going to be satisfied with everything by the end, but the first story I definitely was happy with.
Yeah, it's a very depressing narrative, unfortunately, because all of the three stories are about, okay, you have this home and all of the nastiness associated with either trying to flip it or trying to redo it. First one, though, the one that you had watched, where it's almost like a too good to be true sort of situation. You're like, we're moving in here and we have servants and we have delicious food, but what is the catch? And when you find out what the catch is, it's relatively messed up. But as far as from a visual standpoint, the stop motion, it's very Fantastic Mr. Fox or Coraline, if you've seen that sort of approach, and it's beautifully done. The third story is the least dark of it. The second one is where this guy, it might be my favorite, but he's trying to flip a house and he's showing off the property, and these people who say they're going to buy it, they keep coming in with friends and all this different stuff, and he is just burning himself ragged trying his damnedest. And I know that phrase wasn't. He's running himself ragged. He's like burning on all engines, so to speak. And it does not end well for him, unfortunately. And you sympathize, you really truly do. But from a visual standpoint, especially since it's only like 90 minutes of 30, 3 different tales. The last one is the most positive, I guess. But yeah.
You don't sound that positive.
Well,
out of the three, it's probably the cheeriest.
Yeah. Well, it still involves no longer being at the place where she is.
Just look at the color scheme. It already looks chipper than the others.
Yeah, the blue does look pretty not good.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fact that there's a baby involved.
Yeah, there is. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I'm not watching it.
Nobody gonna address the mouse in a suit?
Yeah, that's the second story.
Okay.
I'm not all the way through that one. Mm-hmm. He's the one trying to flip his house.
Anything with babies.
Okay, so let's move on. Again, Fuego, you're solo for the next couple. The next one is one I saw. I think I saw Spooky Astronauts review. The last thing Mary saw.
Yeah, and also Jason reviewed it too. So this is
well,
this
Jason,
is one
that's a given.
Reviews
he reviews everything.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out
that's
to
Sinister Cinema Reviews, of course.
Yeah, damn reason. So this is one that it's another new Shudder release, and it's also of the religious variety to a slight degree. But damn, was this one? This one was captivating. Legitimately was, and I would say
I might have a while.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
No, excuse me.
Sorry.
Marcia, there's another PBR.
Can you give me a Peebers?
It's in the fridge.
Don't apologize for doing.
No, but I will say this is
You're
one.
talking. You're not supposed to be the one taking a drink.
Well, I mean,
just the wet, the whistle.
I'm just messing around.
But this one was good. One of the biggest detriments, unfortunately, was the fact that it does jump around time-wise, as far as like giving just context without like proper explanation, I would think. And so our lead lady, who you see on the poster right there, she is she's in a gay relationship, and there is just her family trying to like take the demoness out of her and not to have these sort of urges and stuff. There was a Culkin in this movie too.
So it's like a religious conversion therapy kind of thing?
A little bit, but like where you really see the full extent of what's going to transpire in the final act. That's where it really goes for it, with her kind of revolting against that family and the nastiness that transpires there. This is one of the better things that I've seen on Shudder in recent memory. Yeah, it's very slow burn though, and it's very character driven, and so that might not be for everybody, unfortunately. But you do have a Culkin.
Rory,
I think it's Rory, long-haired Culkin.
Oh, so yeah, he's pretty much the main Culkin that's doing the acting now.
Yeah, he was in Lords of
Chaos, which was the Mayhem.
Was he the friend in Scott Pilgrim? Or was that the different Culkin?
I think that was the other Culkin.
Was that Kieran?
I think that was the other
Culkin. Okay.
The other one, we did a review, I think, a few months ago of it. It was that the cat and mouse locked thing with the mom and the daughter at the house or whatever, like the druggies and shit. And
I was about to say, I'm trying to craze my mind.
I know, saying we watched so many damn movies.
Yeah,
I just remember him being in it.
Super Simi says I really like this movie as well.
It was solid building of tension, man.
Spooky interviewed Rory Culkin.
Thank you.
Yeah, very well acted, captivating in that regard, and it goes to some nasty territory. So
good to see you.
Props to that. It's probably the best thing since the new year I have seen on Shudder.
All right, cool. So moving on from that, this is one that I was planning to watch. But when I watched the trailer, I was like, oh no. And then you were like, I didn't tell you I watched this so we could share the code because it's just not worth your time. So yeah, go ahead.
Was it awful. and yet I watched an Alicia Silverstone film the other night that just reinforced the fact that she still has it. It's called Last Survivors. We'll talk about it in February. It's with her and Stephen Meyer, I want to say.
From True Blood?
From True Blood, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's the two of them, and it's a great movie, so she still has it. This film, unfortunately...
Why did they make the shark as big as a megalodon on the fucking poster?
And the fact that we don't have a shark until an hour in the movie.
It's an hour and 30-minute movie.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's like 80 and change, man.
There's a shark in the water. Are you sure? I don't know.
I haven't seen one for... I don't know.
It's just very much about the fact that she is vacationing in Vietnam with her husband, and I recognized him from something, but yes, exactly. But so there's a storm that transpires, and they're staying on the beach, and their little casita or whatever you call it goes out on the water, and so they awaken from this storm, and they're on the ocean, and it's really the fact that he's been injured and he's losing blood, and she's trying to help him. And then a shark finally shows up like an hour into the movie. And they filmed most of it on green screen. God damn it. I know it's got to be... I know it has to be tough to make these sort of films on water. I mean, the Waterworld budget for Kevin Costner's film alone,
Mm-hmm.
good lord. But it's very evident that they're on green screen. And it just took me out, man. And she's giving it all she can, but damn, did this script suck. Yeah, true. This is not one I would recommend. Do not spend the VOD money.
A Fox State says, finally made a live stream. Hi guys, been watching your videos since 2017. Started for Cy King, stayed for the horror.
Damn right.
Love everything you all do. Greatest horror channel on YouTube. Thank you very much. Said he likes our Archive 81. Awesome. Thank you, A Fox State.
Amen,
a fox tail. A fox's tail.
I like that. A fox.
You sure you got that?
Because it's tail, not
it's either that or it's a fox stale.
No.
I like a fox's tail without
Firefox has frozen.
Like a story.
Ben Grimm says, "Yikes, the Requin was not good."
I suddenly want to play Star Fox.
To a barrel roll.
Took too long to get to the sharks. Fair enough. Okay.
I love that game. Star Fox is great.
The next one is another. I think the next 3 or 4 are Fuego. So
Fuego watch a lot.
Yeah, the Wasteland Fuego.
Yeah, I didn't watch this one.
Nope.
So this is trying its damnedest to.
Good chime in, Marcia.
Yeah, it's marked on our spreadsheet.
This one was good though. This was very much trying to be of that slow burn, The Witch, or whatever else it may be. But it's of a historical variety as far as period piece goes. It's so a husband goes off to war, and the son and the mother are left. Just to kind of fend for themselves in this remote area of, I want to say this one was Spain, actually.
Oh.
But, yeah, exactly. But, so, right before Father departs, though, he imparts a story about this, evil sort of presence that can almost take over a family and cause division and so on and so forth.
That was helpful of him.
Yeah, exactly, right? So he sows the seed, so to speak, but it really turns into the fact that the isolation is driving the mother crazy.
Right.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah. Thanks for leaving me with this child to take care of and tell them that we're all going to go crazy. I appreciate it.
Yeah. But she really loses it, man. Truly does. And then she's cutting her hair, and the son is like, "Mom, are you okay?" Like that sort of situation. And it leaves it.
Britney, bitch!
It makes me sad for her. She seems to be doing okay now, which is good. But got out of her.
She got her freedom back.
She did.
Got her checkbook.
Yeah, but the performance from
put pictures of her coochie everywhere now.
Why not?
Don't judge.
No.
Anyways.
No, but the kid, the young boy who plays essentially our lead, who we see everything through his viewpoint, he's great, and the mom just has that deranged sort of building craziness, and they leave it nicely vague about whether there is a supernatural presence or not throughout this film. It's one of the better Netflix offerings.
I do like
seen some bad ones.
I do like cabin fever movies. Maybe because I'm from Maine, and then that's why everybody's crazy there, because you only get 3 months that you're allowed to be outside.
Well, clearly they don't have snowmobiles.
Yeah, I was about to say, even Cy King goes to Florida, for God's sake.
Right. You're gonna have,
when it gets really cold and crazy
and everything. So you're not just
a girl didn't have money, okay?
Yeah, toboggans.
So
sleds.
Ben Grimm says, "Heard the Wasteland was really good. A couple of people said they think it'll be on their top 10 of 2022.
Yeah, it was solid. Great acting.
Why do you think good horror comes from people like Stephen King? It's
strange
because
remote.
he's stuck inside.
So yes, it is a fox's tail, but though I guess it does say a fox tail.
Marcia got
what can I say?
It just depends on how you read it, right?
All right, so the next one is something called Unborn, which I don't think I remember hearing about.
Yeah, this is another one, and the reason I wanted to talk about Hellblazer, and I'm glad that Hellblazers, I'm glad Robert at least watched it, is because Tubi was acquired by one of those bigger companies, and so they have Tubi exclusives now. This is the second of it. A little bit better, it's about the woman who was pregnant and has... It's almost a Rosemary's Baby sort of situation where there's a dastardly, nasty sort of situation. But the acting, at least, it's not of the goofy variety like Hellblazers was. This one is really... Well, I mean, sometimes there's a time and a place.
I love me some horror comedies.
Same.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil, man.
No, pick your poison, though, right? Like you were saying.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if it's done right.
Yeah, this one is very serious, and it does get into kind of the gross aspect of birthing an unholy child, so to speak.
Tear that girl up, I bet.
Yeah, seriously. It does lose some steam in the back half, though, unfortunately, because you realize that she was.
Sorry.
You realize that she was chosen, and her mother factors in, and her lineage is an aspect of importance, and so that's where it got a little convoluted and not quite as good. But I mean, long story short, I thought this was much more accomplished and significantly superior from a filmmaking standpoint to the other Tubi exclusive that Robert and I talked about. So this one is free. I mean, Tubi is free, yo. So
I'm not really huge into like the religious part and the demons and the devils and the stuff, but however, Rosemary's Baby is like one of my favorite horror movies.
Roman Polanski, man.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about the movie. I'm talking about the books.
Well, fair enough.
It was. I mean, the movie was okay, but like the whole idea behind it is
he's still hiding overseas for having sex with a youngster. So,
all right.
No, he is. No.
Yeah.
Polanski. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he.
They just won't. They won't.
Oh no. The director Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
And everything. He's been gone for a long time, hiding out.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai, absolutely loved Archive 81. What a brilliant show. Agreed. We liked it. Well, we liked it well enough. I mean,
I liked
it was
it
brilliant
almost
in its
as
way.
much as I like Cobra Kai.
It was brilliant in its way. All right, so we have 3 more to talk about, guys, for today.
We got it. We're doing it.
Next one is Warhunt.
I didn't watch that
Is that Mickey Rourke?
Fuego must be getting a dry throat. Well, he says Dr. Throat, but I'm guessing he means dry throat.
No, it's totally fine, and this is one that I do want to.
Oh, this was the horror war one.
This
was
good.
the one that was supposed to be
I'm bummed that I didn't get to this one.
When this one came out, people were talking about how it was along the lines of like Overlord.
No, I'm super disappointed I wasn't able to get to this.
Yeah. This one it's a rental, unfortunately. So I know that I
bit the bullet.
Yeah, but dude, it was good. And Mickey Rourke, as you would imagine, he's pretty much playing the Bruce Willis right now in the fact that he will put himself on the poster and be like the big, resounding name. And dude, I watched a film called Apex last night with Bruce Willis in it. That holy
Bruce Willis.
Damn.
He has his own Razzies got his own Razzies category.
And
they have like 8 movies in it.
I've seen them all.
It's crazy.
Did he
surpass?
Yes, because he had like 8 terrible movies come out this year straight to video.
Apex is so funny.
It's
amusing.
I heard the Cosmic Sin one is the worst.
That's the one with him and
I heard
Frank
that's
Grillo,
the worst.
I hate to hear that.
I saw them all.
So
Red Box getting my money.
As far as how many straight-to-video movies has he done?
Cage is actually...
Although I do want to see his...
Cage has pulled himself back up.
He kind of has, but...
Between Pig and...
Colorado Space.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But there was definitely that period of time where he was just...
I love me some Bruce
He was just slapping his balls on every script.
He still is. He did Willy's Wonderland, too, and people still loved him in that.
Yeah. But that was a good movie. It was fun.
He had like 3 lines.
Good movie.
It was a fun movie. I had a lot of fun with that movie.
I'm with Cecil.
There is a difference between fun and good.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
I agree with that.
Man, Apex, holy shit, dude.
What did we say about opinions?
Yeah.
We covered that.
Man, Apex though, Bruce Willis, goddamn, the fact that there was a line of dialogue in that where it's like, my destiny is to make sure you fuck off, and you're like, what am I watching here? That's the. But anyway, to Warhunt, which is actually
back to Warhunt.
Yeah,
back to what
Warhunt
we're
is
talking about.
Warhunt is great though, in the fact that it's it's more like 3 to 3.5 stars, so it's not like gonna knock your socks off with its amazingness, but good production value, very solid acting, and I like horror movies set within the constraints of World War II.
Dude, I love horror movies. That's why honestly, like Warlord, I was all about that.
You should watch Shadow on the Cloud. You'll love it.
I don't know if I believe you on that.
It's a World War horror movie.
Chloe Grace
Moretz.
She's
Gremlin on the side of the plane.
Yeah.
Langoliers?
No, it's basically a drawn out
Richard Matheson
version of that Twilight Zone story where she gets on a plane.
Terror at 10,000 feet. Or
and she sees a gremlin on the side of it, and the guys don't believe her because she's a woman in World War II.
She's able to climb on the side of the plane.
Yeah, dude, she literally climbs out the plane just to get the package.
Tom Cruise?
She has a special package that she's brought on board.
Yeah, she does.
That it turns out, I'm going to spoil this. I'm going to spoil Shadow on the Cloud a little bit.
Shadow on
the package is her baby in a basket. And the baby at one point is dangling from a pipe under the plane as it's flying, and she has to climb out of the plane and like monkey bar over to get her baby, and then monkey bar back. She at one
she's
listen to
not-
this.
Stupidest
Dude,
thing
check this
I've
out.
heard
And
since
she's
Check
Highlander
this out.
2.
Check this out, Robert.
She's not
At
British.
one point, she falls out the hole in the bottom of the plane.
She's holding on.
No, she's not holding on with anything. She gets blown out. She falls out of the bottom of the plane, and a plane underneath explodes and blows her back up into the plane. It's so fucking funny.
Okay, now we got to
It's so
now how
awesome.
the fuck did we get to a Bollywood movie?
That's what I'm saying.
What kind of
It ends. It
bullshit
ends
is
with a
that?
fist fight between her and a
Okay,
gremlin.
Yeah,
why
yeah, in the
is-
mud. In the
Why
mud, no
did
less.
we not do
It's
a
so good.
commentary?
We
on
really
this
should,
movie?
honestly. It's worthy of it.
I
How
know,
did
I
this
was
get
about to
made?
say
This,
Yeah.
let's have like a bad commentary.
We could.
Kind of thing.
We could.
It's just like
Okay,
Mystery Science Theater. This.
It's
Talk
amazing
shit.
for those purposes.
If we do that, we have to do Apex Man because holy shit,
I
was that
can't-
movie
no, you
She
can't
so
make
fist
it.
fights
You
the
can't make me.
gremlin?
She fist fights a gremlin, yeah.
No,
That's what Ben just said.
Oh yeah. What the hell?
she does.
Does
yeah.
she?
Nightmare at
Does she at least
2008.
fair fight it? She get down on her knees and fight
The-
him?
the
or-
delay-
No, it's a big gremlin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair.
It's
Yeah,
a-
and they're
big-
like in this muddy little like.
And it's
watery
cool. It's got
area.
claws, like it's got raptor claws on its hands, so like its middle claw is like this really big
Yeah.
nasty claw.
Chainsaw.
It's kind of cool.
Chainsaw is saying he's watching
It's
it tonight.
stupid fun. It's stupid fun, and it's free. It's available on Prime too, right?
I believe
Is
so.
it?
Or no,
yeah.
it's Hulu. I think it's Hulu.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
available on Hulu.
And-
yeah,
and
Shadow in the
written-
Cloud. If you have Hulu, go watch Shadow in the Cloud if you want.
It came out
Just
about a year
insanity.
Yeah.
Chloe Grace Moretz,
Yeah.
she's doing her work, but
Yeah, and
it's,
I was about to say,
I don't
written by-
know.
Chainsaw
I don't know.
watching
That might be a good one for a drunk, shitty movie commentary.
it really would.
So if you guys want to see a bad movie commentary where we're drunk just talking crap about it, let us know.
be. Yeah, let us
Yeah.
know.
Written
I
by
mean, you don't
Max
even have to be
Landis.
drunk.
Sounds like an
Just
MS,
talk
yeah,
shit.
an
Oh,
MST
this is
3K
boring?
movie. Yeah, exactly, Lou. We want to do it as
Yeah.
an MST 3K sort of status.
Yeah, that's basically what it'd be.
Even
so.
though what you wrote is MK 3000, which makes me think like Mortal Kombat 3000.
Right on.
That would be fun.
That'll be like future
Like-
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
We're just all like, get over here.
Yeah.
Like, what?
So, all right.
But yeah,
That
Warhunt
doesn't even
is
make
pretty
sense.
damn good, and it's not what you
Forgot
will.
about Warhunt.
Yeah. Warhunt is not what you will expect it to be, honestly. So as far just to give it a very clear, succinct. This is one where I thought it was going to be one sort of horror film, and then when the revelation transpires, it's not.
Oh,
It's
so
an
real.
indigenous forest
So
sort of situation. Probably find itself
Creature
in a-
movies?
in not creature.
Oh, okay.
Black magic, I guess
Oh,
is the best
okay.
way to. Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, and very effectively done. You know.
Oh
and-
yeah, didn't you say like witches in the woods?
Which dip exactly. Although they don't reveal it until like 30 or 40 minutes, and you think
Spoiler.
that and good
That's
practical-
sooner than they brought a shark into the Requin.
That is a shark.
Tying it all together.
watch
That
last
is shark on the poster.
Watch Last Survivors, man. Do not watch.
There was a shark
Yeah, there's
in
not
the
even a
last
witch
10
on this
minutes.
poster. Yeah.
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 All right, so I literally just added it to my Hulu list, says Francis.
I
Nice.
love it.
I'm
Okay,
loving it.
so
Love
the
it.
next one is one I was actually curious about. It's called Wolf Like Me, and I thought this would be up Robert's alley
Did you end
too.
up checking it out?
I didn't.
I know
didn't
we
get
talked
to
about
this.
it
I
last
literally
week.
just
Yeah.
downloaded Peacock the other night.
How
and
many
just-
episodes is it? I
It's
want
only
to watch
6.
it.
It's
Are
only
they
6.
half-hour episodes?
They are actually, yeah. They're like
Okay,
20
I'll
That's
watch
worth
change.
my time.
But-
See, I wasn't
I'm
honestly
at it
also
right now.
sure if it was basically like considered like.
As I forewarned you, remember, I
taking
was like,
things
it's
on
not.
like a wolf like me, like wolf in sheep's clothing kind of aspect,
Oh, I
or
don't
is an
have
actual
Peacock
like.
downloaded yet. Do you have a
wolf
Peacock
thing.
password?
I do. No.
We'll talk about it later, not on the screen.
I mean, I shall not
Quit
incriminate
talking
myself.
about your Peacock.
I shall not incriminate
Yeah, this is
myself.
definitely, as I was telling Robert, I was kind of forewarning him last week when we all got together. It was like, it doesn't lean into the horror quite as much as I was anticipating. It's
Is
much
that
more
Josh
so.
Gad?
It is. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Gad and
Who does he play?
Isla Fisher. So
I still can't believe she's
Josh
married
Gad
to
is
Borat.
the snowman from Frozen. What?
and he was also in the Beauty
Olaf?
and the Beast
Olaf.
live action.
Okay.
And,
How do I know
He,
that?
he was in
How
Comedian
do I know
with
that
Billy
name?
Crystal.
I've never even watched those damn
The
movies.
TV show Comedian.
he actually made a name for himself because he was on the Broadway version of the.
Sleepless in Seattle.
No, I wish because Bill Pullman has
What,
the
Eric
Portland
Bassett?
Dyke look, which they're all talking about. But Book of Mormon, Josh Gad got
Oh,
his
yeah.
start
Oh, yeah,
as
that
the
one.
lead in
That's
Book of
right,
Mormon.
you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright.
But this one is where he. So spoiler out of the bag, he falls in love with Isla Fisher, who's a werewolf, and it's really more so exploring how they navigate the fact
Is it
that she
Isla or
needs to.
Isla Fisher? I forget
Isla, I don't know. I know she's Aussie.
Isla
and-
Sorna or Isla Sorna? Jurassic Park.
Truth be told, and I know she's married to.
I
Borat.
still can't get over the fact that she sleeps with Borat.
Yeah, she's married to him, man. Has been for many years.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I mean, somebody has
He's
to.
rich.
That's
Why?
Well, I mean, back when he was doing
he's a really smart guy.
Yeah, no, I like.
Because
he does have some good talent, but it was the strangest thing I ever saw when I first saw that.
Everybody deserves love, Robert.
Jesus, Robert.
Yeah.
What about Jesus?
He got love.
That person doesn't belong with that person.
And they just looked like a weird couple. All right.
Well, I mean, he's like twice her height.
It's not even that, but he's a.
So is this? So what this is striking me as
much more so a drama.
Is this basically the werewolf version of that Drew Barrymore zombie show? Right.
A little bit, actually. The Drew Barrymore zombie show.
Am I thinking where she becomes a zombie?
Santa Clara.
Santa Clarita Diet.
Santa Clarita Diet. A little bit.
Where like the spouse is always trying to cover for the.
It was canceled after the.
Does she like do things as a werewolf that he has to like cover for and stuff like that?
Not necessarily.
So it's not. You said it's more drama, not comedy.
It is far. Well, I mean, it's not horror. Is the big thing. You know, there's some comedic aspects like Josh. Yeah.
Just kidding.
No. Well. I mean, the premise alone, the fact that it's a
werewolf.
No, of course.
That's why
it was. It was a bait and switch sort of situation in the fact that I thought.
Norrin Rad says she's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Thank you, Silver Surfer.
I thought that it was going to be like leaning much more heavily into the nastiness, which it does at times, because she has to lock herself away, and she has like escape room and panic room sort of situation going down where she like locks herself in, and Gad gets caught there one day, and he's just like hanging out, and he's like, "Oh, I just watched you eat a goat," and I just so there's funny shit within it, and we do get a transformation in the final episode.
Oh, good.
Which is good.
The final episode.
Which is of 6 episodes.
Well, you can't show the shark before the first hour of the movie.
I know.
We've learned
Thanks,
that.
Alicia Silverstone.
The Requin has set a new standard.
Well, fuck me.
Of skimping
It's
on
called
the budget.
suspense.
Yeah.
I know when I watch a ghost movie, I don't want to see any ghosts for the first fucking hour.
Yeah.
For sure.
I want all the backstory.
If there's a slasher movie, no one better be killed for an hour.
Exactly.
That's what I like.
Kill that tension.
Yeah. How dare you ghost ship that shit, man? Like, why would you have elaborate death at the beginning? But no. This from an acting standpoint, both Isla. I don't know. Both of our leads are great, and from a interpersonal standpoint, and just navigating those waters of, hey, I figure out within the first episode or two that this woman that I am falling madly in love with is a werewolf, and
they figure out from the sink drain or the toilet drain, or the sink.
Maybe it wasn't that time of the month.
Why is your plumber always here?
Yeah, I know, right?
She hits his car, and they have like an accident, and they exchange insurance information, and like her daughter, his daughter. Kind of becomes fond of her because Josh Gad's wife has died, and so there's lots of like dramatic little pivots and pinpoints. It's good. It's only 6 episodes.
We got 15 minutes before the Super Bowl.
We only have one more thing to talk about.
Yeah, and each episode Cecil is like 20 and some change. And Josh Gad is very. What's the word that I'm looking for? Which is gonna actually give his prowess some proper like he's endearing. He has a few scenes where he's crying in this, man.
He's a very talented actor.
He's good. He's damn good.
He's a very talented actor.
And so even though it's not super horror centric, it is satisfying, and I enjoyed it, which is why I wanted to make sure we made mention.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So the last one is one that everyone was talking about. Yellowjackets season 1.
Did you get to finish it?
I never got to watch any of it.
Oh no?
No, I could never sign in.
Well, you didn't work
was it mine,
with
or was
me.
it?
You were working against me.
So you and I.
You gotta go with the grain, not against
He was
it.
trying to log in
eventually.
while I'm at work, and he's like, "What's the code?" I'm like,
so is
"What?
it?
Yeah.
I'm at work right now. I don't know what you're doing."
Bitch, I'm busy.
I got things to do.
No, honestly, I did.
So you watched?
I did, but I didn't get to finish it though. Like, it's
been renewed for a second season.
Yeah, that I know. I
think
I ended at like 5 or 6 or something.
So did you get to the revelation?
I don't remember. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. But
we're not going to talk about Revelation.
Yeah, but from what I did watch, honestly, I was taken back by the show. I was pleasantly surprised. It was kind of one of those random, just throw it on, see what it's about, and it got to the point where it's like, shit, we have to wait for next week for another episode. And it got to, especially with like Christina Ricci's character. Like, she is a nutsoid.
Oh
my god, she is bonkers built out of. Oh my god, but she plays it great. And that's.
I mean, she would, yeah.
Yeah, she would. She's a little crazy. You can tell she's a little nuts. But even oh god, what the hell was?
I was about to say the Lizzie Borden movie I watched her in recently.
I didn't watch that.
Damn
one.
Good in that. Yeah.
Who was our other in this?
Juliette Lewis, right?
Yeah, Lewis.
Juliette Lewis, and the younger
much.
incarnation of her, who was like the rebel.
Honestly, and that's the other thing I wanted to highlight
and
too is the casting from when they were kids to adults was spot on.
Synonymous. Yeah.
Like they were great because you could almost like pick out on who is who for our older characters, and they did really good on that. And even when the flashbacks came about. There were a couple like quick twists and turns. Like I honestly thought they were going to take more of like a Wendigo horror approach and everything, especially with some of the flashback scenes that we got in like the first 2 episodes.
Right.
But even for what we did get, and again for what I saw, I was pleasantly happy with this show, and I'm definitely gonna obviously planning on finish it, and I will definitely be watching the second season.
Woman's perspective, since it's all girls who crash the soccer team. Yeah.
It started out as very interesting, but then by the end of it, I was just like, meh. I think it was too much back and forth, and it didn't go as horror as I thought it was going.
Same. There was not the payoff, at least in the first season, which they hinted at even in the first episode, for God's sake.
There was a lot more supernatural aspects. It didn't feel very supernatural.
Partially, especially when they got like the cabin and everything like that, and that's where I especially was feeling like, okay, maybe we're gonna have like the Wendigo spirit and things like that. Someone's gonna have to die, and they're gonna have to eat their flesh.
There was a lot of slow burns that didn't feel like it paid off a lot. And I mean, there was the acting's phenomenal and the storytelling was great, but I feel like the way they presented the material was a little misleading and didn't really give me what I thought I was getting. And maybe that was the problem. Like when you first dig in, you're like, oh, some stuff went down. Like what happened? And then and when I figured out who the ringleader was, I don't know.
Is it the girl who we're gonna see the adult version of in the second season?
Yeah, or? I don't know. I just feel like it. I don't. It wasn't enough. The adult stuff was not as interesting as when they were.
I completely.
No, I agree with that too.
And I feel like they should have just.
Honestly, I didn't like our lead. I did not like our lead lady.
Did you guys ever read the book
Hatchet? She was kind of shitty.
Oh yeah.
No, I haven't.
So that's basically a lot of the vibes that I got from the plane crash aspect was from Hatchet.
Yeah.
Ben Grimm says the creators have 5 seasons planned out for Yellowjackets.
Holy shit!
Nah, well, that's
how are you
gonna
milk that?
The fucking
how are you
gonna?
There's no way. There's no way you can
Shauna.
milk this for 5 seasons.
But I just thought.
Holy crap!
I was enjoying the '90s nostalgia though, all the songs.
Yeah, the music. I really agree on that.
I feel like. And maybe it's just so many flashbacks and the back and forth, and they're trying to like build the suspense and like, oh well, you'll find out in the next episode, and I'm just like, you know what? I just want you to just tell me a story. Can you just tell me a story?
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of the back and the forth. Can we just go linear? Like, it felt like it would have. It played off a lot better if it was a linear story versus a back and the forth. Or just a little bit.
Hasn't that been the thing though? I mean, since Lost, I mean, everybody wants to do this fragmented storytelling of time jumping and shit.
Ruined storytelling because of that.
Because stuff like this is very much taking cues from that.
Yeah, you know? and the payoff isn't there, and they should have learned from Lost. Like you have to have a direction. It doesn't feel like. It started, like, at the beginning it felt like they had a certain direction, but by the end, I'm like, that is completely different where we started, and I'm not happy where
that's a bummer, because, I was hearing nothing but great things, but then, as I did notice that as the season went on, the last 3-4 episodes, I didn't hear as much about it anymore. I saw with the viewership,
too, when I was doing some stuff with Screen Rant last week. Like, they have so many different lists, like, stuff they want about the show, so it's very obviously in the public sort of consciousness, but... I don't know.
It started off strong, and they had some really leading, like, heavy hitter characters, and I don't know. I felt like they went the wrong way with this.
They should have gone more on like the full supernatural, like
they should have
Wendigo kind of stuff.
They should have gone more supernatural and more horror aspect versus the drama aspect of it.
It is cool that like all performances.
Well, they alluded to it. They alluded to it, but also like they also went more on like the Lord of the Flies kind of stuff.
No, definitely taking cues from that and Alive, and you know, and obviously the real life.
It definitely felt like a lot of cherry picking and everything, but like. Yeah, so maybe basically it's like from where I ended was probably the best half of the first season.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of where I landed on that one.
Yep, but it's a big time debate topic amongst genre fans. So give it a whirl if you want. Showtime is where
all right, guys. Well, that is 5 minutes to the Super Bowl, or the big game. Whoops.
As they call it. Yep.
So yeah, go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and
Superstore.
end this review roundup here. We'll be back next month to talk about February's review roundup. Just so you guys know, currently next Sunday we are planning to have Elevator Pitch number 4. It'll be me versus Chauncey K. Robinson. So that's happening, and then the following week, I want to make sure that everyone can make it the following week. Y'all can take off next week because I'll be doing
D&D, right?
It's the D&D.
What day
So
is that?
it's Sunday the 27th, I think.
Okay.
So that's going to be our session 0, where Onak's going to come and we're all going to choose our characters, and he's going to set up the thing, and then we'll do a monthly horror D&D campaign going from there.
Stoked.
I am really too.
So we've been talking about this for so long.
You still want me to do chat moderation for next Sunday?
Yeah, if possible, yeah. Okay, and then also we are about to record some trailer reactions. We're going to do a separate reaction for Nope, probably a reaction for Jurassic World, maybe a separate reaction for Firestarter. We got to have a discussion.
Waiting so many days.
Either way, we will react to all of these. It's just a matter of whether they'll get single episodes or not. We're expecting still some new trailers to drop throughout the Super Bowl, so we're going to wait to record the big review roundup or reaction roundup until after, so that way we know all the trailers. But I think Nope and Jurassic World and possibly Firestarter all deserve their own reactions.
Yeah, because Nope actually went up even before.
They had a teaser up, but they put up the full trailer just like 5 hours ago. So, all right, so we'll be back, and those will pop up later today. We're going to be flooding the feed a little bit today with those episodes. So thank you guys very much for watching the review roundup. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Marcia Robert.
This is Fuego.
Robert the Wolfman.
Thank you to all of our patrons. We greatly appreciate all of your support. But until next time, remember,